because it's the silly, stupid, fascinating, weird, wonderful. They're my people, and more often than not, they're the geeky people as well.
But this real sense that what you do as you emerge out of Middle Earth in your real life is you hope, because Tolkien's so good at capturing that.
I mentioned Betamax. For anybody older, that's the old version of a video cassette. A video cassette is an old version of a DVD. A DVD is not set with a cloud.
And I said, I'm not happy, I've got bits wrong here. And she said, yeah, but that's all part of the learning process. That's all part of that makes it unique to you, that those kind of imperfections within it.
Good evening, folks. Welcome, friend and stranger, as you tune into the first episode of a new season of Faith and Geekery. Whether you're here for either, neither, or a bit of both, we aim to be non-judgy, informal, and we occasionally deep dive into other things and beyond. If things go over your head, you might not be on your own. I sometimes lose track as well. We aim to be welcoming, accessible, and so if you pop in for a minute or stay for a while, you are welcome. My name is Mark, and this is
Becca.
Hello, Becca.
Friends.
Hello, friends. Yes. How are we doing, Becca? Long time no see.
Has it been a while? Is this our first time back since December?
It is indeed.
Fabulous! Welcome, Stephen Jones. Welcome back, and may you also have a blessed 2025. Lovely to see you.
I think the difference is that we have actually we have gathered in the absence of doing the stream, haven't we? As in,
yes, I've seen you since.
Exactly.
That's what's confusing this bear of very little brain.
No,
yes,
indeed. And welcome those on podcast as well, and if you're watching on catch up too. That sounds as if we're on BBC iPlayer or something like that.
It does. You just made it sound very professional and formal. In the meantime, I'm drinking out of a Spider-Man head cup of coffee.
That's all right. I've got a can of Tango. Other drinks are available.
Did you know, I found this out today, that if you drink Iron Brew with the thought, this tastes like bubble gum, that's exactly what it tastes like. The taste of Iron Brew is in bubble gum. And it's only the bright orange colour that distracts you. Destroyed Iron Brew. Well, I don't think it is. I think it's just a sweet, non-fruit fizzy drink that the only other point of reference really is bubblegum because it's also a non-fruit flavour.
My son said it reminded him of being very metallic, and then every time I've tried it since then, I was like, yeah, no, I get
That's
that.
That's why I drink Iron Brew. I love that. I used to chew on the bars of my bed. That sounds odd. It was a bunk bed.
Okay.
And on that note, we'll come to our therapy session another day. What's the bars of my bunk bed?
I thought you were about to sort of say, welcome to the therapy session of
welcome.
Geekery.
Yes. Deep diving into our mental health.
Oh. Well, it's we have trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue. Oh, hello. Ooh, I'm just going to have a look on here. Keep yourself busy. Open new tab.
Oh, I would fill in the gap. It does mean that all of our current viewers have dropped off.
Yeah.
Our live people. Can we cut this out for the podcast, or are we just going to leave this contemplative silence?
Oh, sorry. I just wondered what's going on. The first time we've had this.
It is.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it really has just dropped off.
Yeah. We've just had that message in the backstage group for Faith and Geekery from Tim.
Oh,
Good.
okay. This is all very fun and crazy, folks.
To fix.
I
Oh,
don't know how
YouTube
to
is
read
still up.
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
so sorry
exactly.
if you're watching on YouTube, lovely people.
Yeah, that is really annoying. Okay, well, let's carry. I don't know how to do this without not just carrying on.
Have we allowed comments on YouTube? Could we post the link on Facebook to YouTube?
Yes, we can. What geekiness have you been up to?
Well, for my Christmas present, partly because I am doing all weekanuary and all the cards I can during January, which has meant that I have organised and put away with great delight all of my craft supplies. I've discovered that my quite expensive Copic pens, after about 3 years of not using them because they were in storage and I couldn't access them, have not dried up. So my beautiful alcohol pens are still in action. And I also got a Cricut. I don't know if you've seen them. They're very popular with paper crafters. And what it does is, I'll show you on screen, is laser cut paper.
Ooh, that's very cool.
Then see that sparkly. So I've laser cut the shadow and then laser cut it's not laser cut, it's a very sharp blade. But it does it with a tiny little machine. And so I've just researched the different pens that I like to use and the different types of glue and the sparkle pen and all sorts of things, and then deep dive back into my love of papercraft, which I do love. So if you would like a bespoke card for a donation to All We Canuary, oh dear, as soon as I mention you, the feed dies, according
I
to Stephen Jones on
believe.
Facebook.
I believe we are now back.
Are we live? Oh, we've
Yes.
got ticks across the board. Welcome back. Sorry,
Yes.
folks.
And for those on podcast, they will never know. I will edit
You will
it later.
never know what just happened.
So, right, yes. So you've done what was it called again? The Cricut?
Cricket. Well,
Cricut.
I pronounce it cricket. And not only that, I did the mature thing, Mark, of
Ooh.
not going for the biggest possible one that does all of the things,
Mm.
including the quilting projects that I know I will never do. I went for the what do I actually need it to do? I can go small and tabletop, and I can't reach it. I don't think I put it away. But it's absolutely delightful, and I've had a really lovely time. And then now have my desk set up for work so that the little non-thinky things I can do during a meeting keeps my little hands busy so that I can be much more chilled. And that was as a result of having done paint by numbers at a team day where we all sat doing paint by numbers while talking about some really important things, and came away all feeling really chilled because you then participated when you had something to say, not because you were bored and needed to shake things up. So what have you been after all that, what have you been doing, Mark?
I'll say that in a sec, but I am completely in agreement with you in regards to doing stuff as you do, as you kind of have things to do. Becky and I, not recently, but last time we were having big kind of life events and talking about ministry and stuff. We booked out 2 hours in a pottery place and we kind of
Nice.
painted pottery, and it was a really rubbish day. It was like this sort of kind of time of year, and basically the person in the shop kind of went, you can stay for longer if you like, because there was no one else coming in, it was snowy, and we spent 4 hours just painting pottery, and we both did really big pieces as well. And really found it really helpful to kind of engage kind of very intricate and kind of crafty and creative, and then talk over it, which I think it may have actually been one of the original motivators for this Faith in Geekery, of just kind of really recognizing that link between kind of being crafty and thoughtful and reflective.
Maybe that's
Geekiness.
what
Oh, go
maybe
on.
that's what we need to do. Maybe that's a challenge we could set is actually while we're doing this, what else could we be, while we were setting up for today, I stuck down. So each of those little bits, well, some of those are joined, some of them are not, but it involves a really tiny little glue nozzle so that you can do dots along the paper so you don't get a whole splurge of messy glue. But that
Nice.
takes no creative thinking. If someone said, "Why don't you color to reflect what's going on in the meeting?" I said, as soon as I start being creative with what I'm doing with my hands, I will stop being creative with what I'm doing in terms of engaging with the people in front of me. So it has to be quite specific, mundane stuff. I can't do crochet because that involves keeping track of things and
Yeah.
following patterns, which I don't see. I don't really see pattern. But yeah, maybe that's our challenge. We could challenge like alongside our geeky gallery.
Yeah.
Do
Sounds
something
great.
with your hands while we're doing Faith and Geekery.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. It could be a Lent thing as well, like for
A bit-
40 days to
Maybe we
kind of commit
do.
to do
Yeah,
something.
maybe we do it as our Lent engagement.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Is craftiness.
Regarding geekiness that I've been up to, Becky and I have been watching Netflix. We've been working our way through the Harlan Coben, what's the word, kind of serializations of them. So there's like 4 or 5 Harlan Coben books that have been transferred into TV series, and they're just hilarious. They're weird, they're wacky. It's like who done it? Where is it all going to go? How is this all going to unravel? And Becky assures me that the writing in the books are much better than actually these TV adaptations. But it's hilarious because they continue to come back to not Richard Nesbitt, James Nesbitt and Richard Armitage. And so in each series, they play a different person, and they're usually kind of brooding, painful, sometimes policemen, and sometimes all three. It's just like, kind of Richard Armitage plays this kind of forever northerner with a shadowy past. And is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Or is he the murderer? And things like that, which is just hilarious. I also came across, I'm going to say this right, Dirk Gently.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I've not come across Dirt Gently before. I've recognised people had kind of recommended it to me, but I always had in my head that it was George Gently, which is like the really kind of straight down the line. Is it judgy? Like, is he a TV, like a judge
Yeah.
TV series? And I was thinking, I'm all right, thanks. I'm going to avoid that. Whereas Dirk Gently is the Thingy Adams. From Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it's been fab with Elijah Wood. And so I've got through the first series of that and absolutely just devoured it. I've also been doing 3D printing, painting, and little bits like that, as well as enjoying the new Dungeons and Dragons manuals and players' handbooks and things like that.
How do you approach reading that, Mark? With
Well,
something like a manual, to me, that I'll look at the pretty pictures.
yeah.
But how do you then go into that and say, this is actually information? It's one of the things that has put me off D&D for years. There's a lot of information that you need to know and kind of disseminate for this game to work. And
Yeah.
I that doesn't sound like a fun time off type thing to do. So
Yeah.
what's your technique?
I'll answer that, but I'll just remind people to get in touch whether they've
Mm,
been up to anything geeky over the Christmas period or otherwise. And I think we are going to be looking into that a little bit later on anyway. But in regards to D&D and the manuals, I've got to put my hand up and say that I got the
you just
previous.
looked at the pretty pictures, haven't you?
I put my hand up to the first lot I got, the first manuals, and I did just exactly what you said. I dipped into the bits and pieces. And we're like, oh, these are brilliant, these are good, these are really long and boring, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And they've been on the side, and I've dipped into them as a reference thing, and not very much
Yeah,
else.
okay.
Whereas this year, because I've known about these kind of previous ones, which are like the 2015 or 2014 versions, I was like,
Mm,
you know what? I want to get more out of them. I actually want to invest in these a bit more. And so I've kind of entered into them with a direct idea of actually, this is something that's always baffled me about D&D. So I've used it as more reference, but I've used it more intentionally. I think
Nice.
actually they are also better laid out.
Oh, that's helpful.
And so the kind of, they don't bamboo. Well, or am I just more used to it? I don't think they bamboozle me as much, but they're more engaging. That being said, is always polished, always better. Not sure, which is why you tuned into this first.
Well, that's what we always talk about, isn't it? Is do we need to be more professional, more slick, more fancy, or is the level that we play at, where we come, we chat, we engage, we enthuse, is that an okay level? Because it means that there's still room for absolutely anyone to come. You know, my 16-year-old daughter wants to come on and talk about her passion for Hunger Games. And if you get so slick, does it then exclude the people that would just casually come on unless we show them that there's no room at the proverbial inn?
Absolutely. I think you're really at the right level there.
Answers on a
Stephen
postcard.
Jones, geeky stuff. My PC rescue project is currently 0 for 2. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Stephen.
Oh, sorry,
As both
Stephen.
boxes have dead motherboard, they'll sadly need to go to a local IT recycling centre. Oh, that's painful. Still looking for a rescue project, though. It is sad times. It is sad times. I hope all the best with that, Stephen. Nobody else has commented so far. Shall we, talking about keeping our quality low and accessible, shall we go to the news?
Oh, yes, let's.
This is the Faith in Geekery news, broadcast to your home and around the world.
So, the geeky news. Sam Moore, who sang Soul Man, has died at the age of 89. Tony Slattery, famous for Whose Line Is It Anyway, amongst other things, has died at the age of 65. And the Vivian, this was over Christmas, died. Drag star James Lee Williams died at the age of 32. In gaming news, first glimpses of the Nintendo Switch 2 has been leaked, and the creator and designer of Minecraft, Marcus Notch Persson, is developing a spiritual successor to the original game. In theatre news, Six the Musical is in development to be filmed, and so is a new version of Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Finally, finally in Lego news, much loved Highland Cow Lego ideas, as supported and suggested by, well, not support,
the beloved
Lydia. But Lydia had brought it to our attention. Unfortunately, has been rejected. And I'm hoping it's been rejected because they maybe have something else in the pipeline. But unfortunately, yes, it's been rejected. But there is a whole myriad of new kind of Lego releases, whether it's kind of, it says new for 2025, but I think these were actually dropped over Christmas time. There's like Grogu and the Hover Pram. There's the new Series 27 minifigures and Harry Potter Diagon Alley, as well as the not Snape residence, the Malfoy residence as well.
Malfoy Manor.
That's the one. Thank you very much. And so that is all of what I consider to be the news. Any comments on this?
I was interested by, what was it? The spiritual sequel?
Yeah,
I wonder how
successor.
Spiritual successor. How do you align something spirit to spirit with?
I think it's aligned spirit to spirit because Microsoft has bought the rights for Minecraft, and the chappie who made Minecraft wants to build something else, which maybe adds to his legacy, but can't officially call it Minecraft.
Oh, interesting.
So that's how it spiritually lines up, because he financially, he kind of legally can't call it
Minecraft 2.
No, he can't. But
that would be quite interesting, though.
Yeah, I thought that is quite kind of interesting.
There was something else, but I already forgot what it was that I was going to ask about.
Yeah, sometimes I put kind of the visuals up, which tend to help, don't they? It was sad to hear of Tony Slattery's death. I used to be a fan of his Whose Line Is It Anyway a long time ago. Yeah. And Lego, always a fan of Lego. And interesting about Joseph.
Sorry about the cow, Lydia.
Yeah. It looks a good design as well. but I'm always happy about Lego, and Diagon Alley looks very tempting. Although £170 is too much
That
for
is
my
a
bank
lot of
account.
money for some plastic. Beloved
Yeah.
plastic, but plastic nevertheless. What was the Joseph news?
That they are developing a new version of it rather than the Donny Osmond, or as I call him,
Jason
Dozzy.
Donovan. Oh, okay. So they're going to re choreograph stage set, but that's theatre, not movie.
I suspect they're basically going to do a new, is it record a new theatre version of it, just in the way that Hamilton has kind of got had
Oh, right,
roaring
okay.
success. So they're going to do the same with that, really. Is that
That's
everything for the news?
I think so.
This is the Faith in Geekery news, broadcast to your home and around the world.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
And a little shout out to Tim for doing the voiceover for that.
Tim, the new background producer.
Speaking of Tim, and going on to the quiz, Tim is also going to help us with that too. Shall we move on to the quiz?
Oh, please let's.
No expense spent.
Just
So
couldn't get any better.
I couldn't possibly say. So Tim is going to help us today. I have been told that he's sent us a video, and so I'm going to try and play the video. Can you see that video?
I can see it underneath, but I can't see it on our screen yet.
Oh yes. Okay, add to stage.
There we go. Oh, there he is. He looks a little surprised.
Yes, this is a couple of seconds in as well. I believe he is going to read a question, and there's going to be 5 seconds, and then there's going to be the next quiz question. I think if you need me to pause, then tell me to pause, because I've kind of got this on another screen. I'm going to get my pen and paper ready. Folks, get your pens and paper ready. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go from there. Are we ready?
So ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the small petite quiz of Faith in Geekery for this, the 14th of January 2025. Heck, we're in 2025. This is a very small quiz we do every single week, so I hope you enjoy it. Play along at home. The way it's going to work is we're going to read the questions out twice. There's going to be a short gap where the video might be paused, and then we'll do all the answers at the end. You have a maximum of 5 points that you could win. So,
we can't even quibble with him.
Let's get quizzing.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
I like to quibble.
We can't kind of argue him down. Anyway,
no,
okay, cool.
Building. Right, carry on, Tim. Sorry.
Pens and papers at the ready.
Yes.
You can put your own quiz teams in the comments if you want to. But the first question, out of the top 10 most viewed shows this Christmas, how many of them aired on the BBC? Out of the top 10 most viewed shows this Christmas, how many were aired on the BBC?
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
I don't even know. Is he going to tell us what the top 10 were?
No, that's the question, and we've got to guess out of that.
Well, he might at the end. I'm hoping the answer's going to. Otherwise, I'm waiting for it to appear in Discord or WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah, as in the answers, yeah, but he's not going to give you multiple choice. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Question number 2. How many people watched the Gavin and Stacey, the finale? You were allowed within 500,000 of the correct answer.
Oh, flip.
500,000. I was going to go with 300,000.
How many people watched the Gavin and Stacey, the finale? You are allowed within 500,000 of the correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we ready to go to the question number 3? If Tim is. Are you ready, Tim?
Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim.
Question number 3. What was the number 1 album in the UK in 2024?
Oh.
That question again. What was the number 1 album of 2024 in the UK?
No idea.
I don't know. I'm so out of touch. Oh, Tim's doing a thinking face.
Yeah, I know. It's really insulting. No, I
Okay.
can't even think.
Okay.
No, I've not even written anything.
Question number 4. Jimmy Carter, former American president, died in December of 2024 at the age of 100. What number president was he? That question again. Jimmy
just gonna
Carter
mute
was a
my
former American
microphone.
president who died in December of 2024.
I thought the question was going to be how old
What
was he?
numbered president
Could do
was
that.
he?
What's the point of having an American in the house if they don't tell you the answers to these
yeah.
things?
He's going to be 40.
How many presidents have there been?
I think Trump's going to be 46, isn't he? No.
Oh shit! I'll
45.
pass out 48 then. Beep.
Oh no, dear. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Right. Okay.
1 second.
I've also gone with a guess.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to take a screen grab of Tim in his little. There you go.
His thinking face.
Yeah, but definitely.
Oh, is he actually thinking, or is he just? No, he's not. He's paused. Is he still blinking?
And finally, question number 5. What, according to recent surveys, is the number one resolution people will make at the start of a new year?
Ooh.
That question again. What is the number one resolution people will make at the start of a new year?
Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It feels
No.
painful. It feels painful.
Feels painful. I like to think that I can persuade the quizmaster round to my answer, but this automated AI version of Tim.
I don't think it's automated AI.
It's
just
Tim
Tim
AI.
on a
No, it's
recording.
AI Tim.
Okay, AI Tim. AI.
AI.
Right. No, I think this is a really good quality quiz. I just don't know any of the answers, which is why I'm struggling. I think Tim has done really well with these.
Excellent quiz questions.
Turns out I'm very insulated.
Well, they don't do number ones on Netflix.
Answers done?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, Tim.
Let's give those answers. Question number 1. Out of the top 10 most viewed shows at Christmas, how many were aired on the BBC? 10! The top 10 for the first time in many years was fully done from one broadcast channel. In fact, if you look at the top 20, the only other alternatives that were in there were Netflix and ITV. So 10 out of 10 for the top 10 BBC.
Well, there you go.
Done, BBC.
Well done, BBC.
This might be because number 2, how many people watched the Gavin and Stacey finale? Answers within 500,000. The answer was 19.11 million people watched the Gavin and Stacey finale, which was a lot. In fact, it was the largest amount for a serialized scripted comedy, I believe, since records began, and beats the previous record held by the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special from 2019. So good on them.
Well done,
Number
Gavin
3,
and Stacey.
the number 1 album of 2024 in the UK was The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift.
Oh, I put Taylor Swift.
Of course it was Taylor Swift. Come on.
Do you think I get half
Number 4, Jimmy
Carter
Carter was the 39th president of the United States.
37th.
But he was also the first president to reach the age of 100.
I've got top 40.
And finally, the number 1 resolution people will make at the start of the new year is to save more money. However, I will also accept not making a resolution, because that in itself is a resolution.
Well done, Sam.
What was your score? How many did you get? Put your answers in the comments along with your quiz name. And with that, that's the end of the quiz. Back to you, Marco Becker.
Oh, this is fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
What a delightful human being he is.
Yeah.
I've got 0.
Sam got 1.
Yes, that's good. I was 2 out with Jimmy Carter, but yeah.
Oh, I thought I had 1.5, then suddenly realised I might just have half.
Yes, mine was also nice and round, Stephen Jones.
Yeah.
What did you get, Mark?
I just got Taylor Swift. That's all I wrote.
Which gives you half a point.
Yeah, no, for all of it, I just wrote take the note.
My
One
answer
of
for
these will be
everything
right.
was just Taylor Swift.
Indeed.
Oh, alas.
So cool. So that is the end of
That's just
That's not going
beautiful.
to get
I
annoying,
thought you
is
just
it?
left the studio then.
No. For podcast listeners, I ducked out of the way. So tonight,
Oh, well
I've got
done,
another
Sam.
comment. Mine was the 39th president. Yeah,
Mm.
I just couldn't remember which number he was. I knew about it. If they'd said how old was he, I remembered he was 100, and that's about it. And genuinely, that was it. New resolution. That is going to be the title of our theme tonight, which I should have mentioned earlier. New year, new resolution. And I think it's this idea of, do we have to take something on? There's a question mark on the end of that, you see. Do we have to take something on at the beginning of a year? And do we gain things from that? And first of all, Becca, have you picked up anything new, New Year's resolution?
No, because I don't like to. I have overpromised myself repeatedly, often from a place of beating myself up and shaming myself for not being better. So I avoid kind of making those kind of promises. However, I think I do kind of take the new year to reinvest in self a bit. I kind of have kind of positive mantras about what I can do and what is possible. So I think I feel the new year as a clean slate. It's really bizarre once Christmas is out of the way, and then suddenly you're into January with this year spreading out in front of you like a bed of freshly laid snow. There's something really creative and energizing about it, but I don't limit it to something to do. I kind of just reinvest in who do I need to be in order to embrace all the possibilities and opportunities of this brand new clean slate.
Yeah, I kind of get you with that whole resolution thing and the fresh slate thing, as in that I don't like to promise to do something. I'm just not sure if it's long lasting. Whereas I do definitely see that. I guess it's that what is the next thing coming up on the horizon now that Christmas is out of the way, and with the whole kind of new year, they're going to go, okay, how is this going to develop? And I might as well start where I mean to go on. So there is already kind of tidying going on. There is already kind of getting things kind of together. I kind of dusted off the scales again, but again, it wasn't to lose weight. It was just like I need to get back into a habit. And
there's some things that you can do that make positive change for yourself, which is different to making a resolution. It's the amalgamation of lots of different positive action.
There is two things that I do try to do, but I think this is just a token of, well, one of these is definitely a token of just winter, is that I try and enjoy a cup of tea in the morning next to a window, so like the light kind of hopefully glances in, or at least I can see the light on the horizon. That for me is it just lightens my soul a little bit, just to look out of a window where I can see the sun coming up, and or just to literally bask in the sunlight if I'm kind of going to go for a walk as part of work or otherwise, just to kind of go, oh, you know what, this is the sun. Especially when the weather's been rubbish at certain times. And the other thing for me is about just accepting the fact that I'm going to sit in front of the TV and not feel guilty for it. And therefore that's why we've been watching through the Netflix series. I think that's why, but kind of to sit down and watch something isn't necessarily just to be static. Previous years I've kind of done the lino cutting, lino printing and things like this. This year I've been doing a bit more miniature painting and things like that. as well as a bit of Minecraft as well. So I've just been kind of pootling in front of the TV. Pootling is a word? Pootling.
Pootling's a
Yeah.
fantastic word.
Yes. So I like to pootle in front of the TV.
Hmm.
And so that is just kind of accepting the fact that, the weather's a bit rubbish, but it is going to get better, and yeah, all is good.
I think it's the noticing that about yourself. I think one of the most helpful things or helpful tools that I discovered as a result of doing mental health first aid was the well-being action plan. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. And it was initially created by a group of, I can't remember if it was young people or adults in group therapy who were taking essentially enacting their own agency in their recovery and believing that recovery was possible. And I think this is the hope of the new year, is that there's things that are possible. It's possible to live life well with whatever you've got on, with whatever you've got going on. And one of the things that they learnt to do was identify their red flags. So who are you when you are straying away from, maybe not your new resolution, but your intended path? What does it look like? What are your red flags? What when you're as I imagine it, kind of the swirling towards the dark vortex of doom, like in The Little Mermaid when the ship is being sucked down. What are your red flags that would say, you know what, there's a few things that are going on that I'm either doing in order to cope. Where I know that I'm in the silence, I'll compulsively pick up my phone because I'm just not willing to let the noise of worry, concern, anxiety creep in. So I'd rather play something mindless, picking up my phone, to the detriment of doing other things that I need to be responsible for, or engaging in the conversation I was just in the middle of, but actually I picked up my phone because my anxiety is flared up. And just noticing those things, and then like you say, with your cup of tea in the morning in the sunshine, knowing that there are other things that you can do that either relieve the stress. And the same with the phone, it might be that actually picking up and playing a mindful game on your phone is exactly what you need to do to break the cycle of feeling anxious in order to give yourself some respite. So it's not that there's a one size fits all approach to being the best version of you, but knowing who you are and being able to write down somewhere, me on my best day is, and then you have your checklist of who are you when you're at your very, very best. And better, if you struggle writing that list and essentially selling yourself, asking your closest friends, on my best day, how would you describe me? So that when you're not able to step into that best version of yourself, then there's probably something that you might need to do or stop doing or recuperate from or rest. And then when you're really swirling the vortex and you're feeling the pull, for me, it is to avoid human contact, to hibernate under the duvet, to overeat, to oversleep, to avoid any kind of feeling, to notice when the drift happens, so that instead of being pulled into the compulsiveness of then sliding into poor mental health, to know actually when I feel the drift a little, when I have no clean pants, when I haven't, and it might be I've got no clean pants. That means I have not done any laundry for a significant amount of time because I have far too many pants in the first place. So to know what that drift is, and it's not too late then, maybe at that point, to say, I need some help, or I could do with someone stepping in and giving me a booster, or I'll phone someone that will give me a pep talk, to know that I can pull back from the vortex of doom is really helpful. And I think that for me is far better than a one-off resolution that I am absolutely going to break in 2 days. I was the vegetarian that forgot she was a vegetarian and ate a hot dog. So a New Year's resolution is
Do
not.
they hold much meat? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I could have passed for a vegetarian.
No, I think you're right, and I think for me, it is about grounding myself, and that there are when I feel that I'm kind of losing my footing, or otherwise, I realise that it's usually just like the week before I'm going on holiday that I realise that I'm really stressed and really short,
Yeah, yeah.
and I feel more frantic, and I kind of need the grounding exercises.
Yeah.
But I say that grounding exercises because I think one of the grounding things for me is running as well. And going for the run is just to have the headspace, just to kind of not be distracted or burdened or otherwise, and literally just go out. And I think when the weather is really rough and when it feels, it's awful, that's when I kind of feel more locked in, and I don't do myself any good about just being so. Even kind of last week with the ice and the snow, I still managed to go out for a very interesting
Slippy?
run. Yes, there was a moment. I'll be honest. There was a moment when I was running along, and there was only once that I slipped, but I slipped in such a fashion that all I can say was I remained in contact with the floor at all times, but I did a kind of a star jump. With both my legs going out, and therefore to balance, I put my arms out, and the delivery driver, who was dropping something off about 10 meters away, just erupted into laughter. And he was like, "Oh, mate, that was fantastic." And I was like, "It's a shame you didn't have a camera on me, because I'd have loved to see it." Because it was just like, it was hilarious, but I was like, "Oh," and then kept on running. And it was only afterwards I was like, I was also in my Spider-Man gear as well. So it's very impromptu. So yes, it made me chuckle, but it was still so very needed, and just kind of to reset and to reground and otherwise. I will just say, I forgot to mention that in our Discord group, and this is the first opportunity to give a plug to the Discord group, where you can join us and share things, whether it's answers to questions or geeky gallery or news, or just to chat up about various series that you've been watching, getting into. But there's a new little section in the Discord this I think it was earlier on today, that I asked the question of what new hobbies or interests have you got started with recently, and especially kind of after Christmas as well, when it's maybe a time when we gain new hobbies and interests potentially. I asked a number of people. Gareth said he'd got out his Sega Mega Drive, and also he's backed a new game on Kickstarter. I believe that's a Mega Drive game on Kickstarter, which is pretty cool. And he's also purchased a Raspberry Pi to create a retro games console, which I'm there for all of that. I've forgotten his name. He's picked up knitting needles and social media content kind of exploration. So that's cool. Phil has returned to painting miniatures, and he had a little fab photo of Sam. I want to say it's the Hobbit or Sam Ganji. I couldn't remember. I couldn't work it out who it is, but it's kind of like blonde floppy hair maybe, but it looked very cool and far better.
That sounds like Sam. Sam's a blonde, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, and so then Tom has signed up for something in the spring, but for a 1-day doubles 40k tournament, which is Warhammer, of course. So not just kind of starting up things, but also kind of committing to doing new things and new activities, which again is part of that new outlook, isn't it? It's when kind of people tend to sign up for runs and give themselves achievements to do on the horizon.
And I think there is something in, you're over the hump, aren't you? We've now had our shortest day. It is all kind of downhill essentially from here, in the positive way rather than down the that we're headed into spring, and that hope, and that, well, maybe this year I'll get a little bit better. And this has always been what faith has given me, and kind of spiritual practice is, I'm not going to be perfect ever. However, the little things that I choose to do today is a gift to the me tomorrow. It's the gift further down the road of I might find it difficult or painful, or if I've pulled my back or sprained a joint, to keep moving. But the gift to me tomorrow, who I love and is valuable and worthy, I give today, because that's what will make the little changes. And I think that's starting on the new path. It's really nice to have that reset. That any kind of period of holiday or vacation will do, but there's something about the beginning, the new year.
Yeah, I guess it's like that emerging out of hibernation, isn't it? Of just like, of there's a new thing coming. There's like
Yeah.
you've had the rest, you've had that kind of moment of stillness, and now is the time to think about moving again. And I quite like that idea. And
It
I just
wanes in February, Mark. You know, when you've had the fresh fall of snow and it is
yes,
no longer fresh and it's gone grey and it's soggy, but it's sitting there doing nothing. It's no longer beautiful, just
yeah.
cold and wet. That for me is February.
Oh, see, now I like February because it is a birthday month, and I know that we both share February as
You know,
birthday month, as
beginning
well
and
as
it's gone.
Faith in Geekery has also its birthday in February.
We're going to have a
So
birthday party.
I think we did last year, so I
Right,
think we should
okay.
rightfully do so this year too. And yeah, no, I like my birthday in February because, yeah, as you face February, I also kind of go, oh, another month and maybe more snow, usually more snow, and otherwise. So I kind of embrace that. That's like another little tick off the list to get me into spring, really. So I embrace that. But yeah, but at the same time, I like the idea of birthdays more than actually celebrating birthdays on my own.
I love
I
a
think I
birthday,
sometimes
but I am 5 years old about it. Um, this year,
maybe I need
this year
to.
there are various colours. I don't know if you've ever used alcohol pens, but in order to get the blend right, you need a sequence of shades so that you can go from light to dark seamlessly. And there's a few missing, which means I can get the effect and I can kind of overlay with different coloured greys. But actually, there's a few pens that I've got to complete my.
So I don't know what alcohol pens are.
So this is a Copic. They're the kind of industry standard of,
Oh, okay.
so they're brush pens with a chisel tip at the
Right.
end.
Oh, okay.
And they
Yeah.
blend.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Cool. So I didn't get the whole reference to that.
yeah.
I went down the icing route.
Oh
So
yes,
still
yeah.
don't.
No, I also have wide range of basically, can I buy this product in a rainbow of colours? Then yes, absolutely, that's going to be my hobby.
Very good. Very good. Is there anything else in regards to New Year, new resolutions, or shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Shall
What are
we
we
move on?
moving on to?
We're going to move on to the Geeky Gallery. However, I
Oh,
forgot to mention at the very beginning that we'd asked about geeky things that we'd got up to. This is our family's ice shelter that we did, snow shelter, which is
when
about
did you
five
do that?
foot. That was last Sunday, so not yesterday.
That's
No, so not a couple
remarkable.
of days ago. Yeah, it only lasted a few hours because I don't know if you can tell, but there's a slight slant.
Yeah. It's
The
like, what's the
podcast.
green thing inside it?
It's a little bucket. Yeah, it's a little bucket. In fact, I think that was from a Hope and Anchor bucket, which was needing to be rehoused. So we were given it, and my kids have been using it. Yeah, so this is a nice snow shelter, and that's 5 foot. So
How long did that take, Mark?
I think 2 lots of 2 hours. I think so, about 4 hours.
Oh wow,
But
okay.
it was a whole family activity, and I haven't shown the picture with the kids actually having hot chocolate in there,
Oh,
but it then
nice.
only lasted about another 4 hours because then the rain came and it kind
Yeah.
of started attacking it a bit too much and it gave in. However, we still have what I hadn't considered. We still have a massive now mound of ice, despite everywhere else is now gone.
Yes.
But we've now got this like compact heap of ice, which is still causing the kids lots of fun actually, so I don't mind that too much. But coming on to our geeky gallery, first of all, I
Which
think
has
this
no
is
theme tune.
no, I didn't do a theme tune for geeky gallery. Sorry. This is Tom's contributions, and I think this is kind of from New Year or like Christmassy time all the way through, and so he's kind of got some new kind of presents from Christmas and been putting them together with Lorna, and it's kind of got this really cool kind of garden, the Lego love artwork, isn't it? I think actually we referenced that about a month ago,
We did.
as well as the Leonardo da Vinci
Yep.
thingy copter.
Oh, which has a little video. Is the
It's
video
the
on
ornithopter.
Discord?
It is indeed, and that's another plug that if you want to see the videos, then have a look at those because we can't show them on here. And then there's also the I want to say the yacht, no, the the boat, which was very cool indeed. So that's kind of Tom's contributions. Becca, would you like to comment a little about these cards that you've
I
been
mean,
doing?
what you're missing and why they all have little play buttons on them is that I have little wobble stickers that stick on both sides of your character, so that when you open the card, they wobble away, which makes me very happy. And the mermaid in the top corner, she slides all the way down to go and sit on her little rock. So I do like an interactive card, and you can see, with the mermaid and the Highland cow, which I did for Lydia, the kind of alcohol blending that you can get that effect of, which you can't do with a normal pan because they don't blend.
So
Normal felt tip.
Sorry, I hadn't realised. So the backdrop of all these you've done yourself.
I've done all of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
The characters, apart from the unicorn and the giraffe, the characters are all stamped. Oh no, and the Highland cow actually. They're all stamps, which saves a huge amount of time for character design. I just have a collection of different character stamps.
And you still colour them in?
And then I colour them in. It's all coloured in, printed.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
I'd assumed that they were all kind of bought and you just placed them all together. I didn't realise that.
No, it is all hand done.
Wow, those are fantastic. Really good.
Thanks.
And then across to the right hand side, there is Lydia with her Wallace and Gromit themed cheese on the little fingers.
Cheese, Gromit.
The fourth of the first. So yes, I mean, I was surprised Tim didn't reference Wallace and Gromit at all over the quiz, because I think that was like not a surprise hit, but I thought I was just really kind of moved by Vengeance Most Foul and the Christmas special, and I think that has had a record number of views as well. And I think our household has contributed at least 6 of those viewings. So we have watched it lots of times. So in fact, I think we've watched all of them multiple times over the Christmas period and this week. So that's really cool. And then Tim had got an early birthday present or a birthday present for it. Yeah, it's a Magic the Gathering cards from the Lord of the Rings set, and all the backs of them kind of come together and make this kind of cool, what's the word? Montage of Gandalf defeating a big dragon. So that's very cool. And then I think the last picture is mine, just various games. We've kind of gone game heavy over the Christmas period. Everything from the Grinch to which is a Grinch Christmas game, which if I've ever said this before, it is a relatively simple game, but it is devious, and it looks like it's snakes and ladders, but it's just ladders, and whatever ladder you come to, you go either up it or down it, and you are forced to go up it or down it. And the whole game is like in 4 quadrants, and on more than one occasion there is one person in the final quadrant and all the others are still at the beginning, because it is just a horrible game. And you can switch over characters, and there's like every other square there's a Grinch face where you pick up a card and it will force you to do an action. And so it is mean, and the kids in equal measure hate it and love it. And as long as they win, they love it. if they don't, they all hate it. Like, this is horrible game. I hate it so much. So it's hilarious though. But the kids do love it every Christmas. So trolley game, Saboteur Dark Cave 2, no, Saboteur 2. Dominion. Ruben, our oldest, is old enough to play Dominion, so we kind of introduced him to that, which was fantastic. And we played our second to last D&D game session, which we're hoping tomorrow night is going to be our last session of D&D. So that is a 4-year kind of conclusion.
How do you know that it's come to an end? How can you anticipate that?
Well, the last session we were attacking and defending off against the Ice Maiden, and basically she'd kind of like retransformed 3 times, and it was a mammoth session. And this is kind of been leading up to this for lots and lots of times. And also my brother-in-law DM, who's also kind of going, yeah, it's all right, we're nearly at the end. We are coming to a conclusion, I promise, and I think we should manage this. And then that was last week, and he was like, oh, it seems like we're going to do one more session. So he has given us kind of a nod, but I didn't realize how long it was going to take. He didn't let on how big this campaign was, but we did it. You know, it's not as if it's been every week. It's been here and there, but that has been, yeah. Has it been?
What are you gonna?
It's been 4 years.
What are you gonna do now?
I'll have a break.
Not speak to your brother-in-law for 4 years.
No, we could talk to him about normal things rather than just our characters in D&D. And maybe we'll just stop. It's like, I don't know what to talk to you about now. No, so anyway, sorry, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent about that. But but that has been a long part. Herd mundanity as well, is it? Or herd mentality? Yes, herd mentality. Oh, as well as, what's it called? Power Hungry Pets, which is the top right-hand picture. Which is a fab game where you basically only ever have 2 cards in your hand, but each card forces you. You've got to kind of play your card. It's a very good game. It's from the same team as Exploding Kittens, and at first I was unsure about it, but especially with younger kids, it's been fantastic. Anyway, that's the end of Geeky Gallery.
Doo-doo.
And we have about 3 minutes left on our clock. Is there anything else to chat about, or should we call it a night?
I think we're there.
Yeah.
Well, if you could go into this new year, 2025, being absolutely sure of one thing about yourself, your future, your year ahead, what would you want to be sure of? You're welcome for that face. Mark's face, his eyes just kind of bulged out of his head.
To build on memories with my family. I think that'll be good. Good memories.
Yes.
Like
Generic, mundane memories.
Yeah, to generate good, wholesome, savoured memories with family. How about you, Becca?
I had not considered an answer. I think it goes back to the why I do the little things. That tomorrow me is worth loving today. The things I do today are worth it for future me.
Well, I think that is a good note to finish on, I do believe.
Okay.
And can I finish with a misquote from Mother Teresa?
Please do.
The miracle is not that we do this hobby, but that we are happy to do it.
Amen.
Geek well and prosper.